So, Mexico versus the United States.
That's where we're starting off.
It's the big talking point.
It is the big talking point.
It's probably going to be the biggest segment of the podcast today.
Might be. I mean, is there anything else to talk about?
It might be.
I mean, the Euros, there's groups now officially.
The group stage finally,
group
yeah.
stages. So that's the other big talking point.
They had their
Other than
playoffs.
that,
I guess
than
the
that,
Copa
I would-
America playoffs also happened. Canada and Costa Rica qualified.
Which is good because we need Canada in there.
Did that qualify for the South American teams as well?
No, we do need Canada in there.
No, the South American teams were already set. It was just the
Yeah.
last two CONCACAF.
CONCACAF spots. No, we need
Okay.
Canada, Brandon. Whether you and Eddie like it or not, Canada is the third strongest team on paper in CONCACAF. We need the strongest representation. They
Okay,
are.
can you guys explain to me one thing real quickly? Because as a dumb, not in the CONCACAF world, what the fuck is the Nations League and what the fuck is the Gold Cup? What's the difference?
Well, it's the difference between it's like the difference between the Euros and the Nations League in Europe.
Okay.
But the difference is the Nations League has become
Qualification for the Copa America.
the Nations League was
shouldn't be.
qualification for Copa America, and it's the one that they actually send their strongest teams to. Like
But you guys said it was 3 years in a row, so is it a yearly competition?
it just started. There have only
It just
been
started.
3.
Yeah.
But was it 3 in a
2021.
row, 3 years in a row, or was there periods in between?
I think it was
2020,
2021 was the first one.
but they got pushed back a year, like the Euros.
it was
did.
supposed to be in 2020 because of COVID, pushed it
It's every-
back.
It's every 2 years,
Yeah.
basically.
And then there was one last year, and now this one.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was just confused.
It is essentially a money grab.
Because I've heard of the Gold Cup for forever, and then you guys were talking about Nations League. I was like, what the fuck is this?
And the thing is now is it seems like they don't really care about the Gold Cup anymore. The big teams don't. Like the strongest lineups, they don't send the strongest lineups to the Gold Cup anymore.
Which is why I think we should just get rid of it in general.
Yeah, just get rid of it and keep. If you want to keep the Nations League, that's fine. But I would say expand it then, because it going straight from the group stage to the semis is kind of lame.
It's also like the Gold
Yeah.
Cup. The criticism I have of it is it's not a competitive competition, because like it is kind of structured for Mexico and the USA to make it through far every year. And I mean, we'd probably make it far regardless. We are the two strongest regions in terms of stadium, money, youth development teams, but it's not competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how would you restructure it to make it to where we aren't guaranteed? Because
I would say
whatever
if
we
you
do
wanna-
is going to take a long time.
if you want to keep it as the CONCACAF Nations League, but just turn it into like your typical, because right now they have it where there's 3 different sections. There's like section A, B, C, or it might not be 3, but however many. If you finish bottom of your section, you get sent down. So it's almost like a league. So like I think who got sent up, because now like I think Honduras might have got sent down to Nations League B, and if you win Nations League B, you get to play in the big Nations League against U.S., Canada, Mexico,
Is it just you 3 in there, or is
Jamaica.
it?
No, there's more. There's more than that.
Okay. Let me look this shit up.
is there's not a C for the Nations League, is there?
I think it goes all through CONCACAF.
Well, it's because once you get past like the big teams, which is USA, Mexico, Canada, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Honduras, Panama, and then what is it? Trinidad.
There's A, B, and C,
Dominica.
which is also like
Yeah, then it's
Dominica,
like nothing.
British Virgin Islands, and Turks and Caicos.
And it's these really
like,
small
are all
islands.
down-
Oh.
Yeah, same. And then like you look at B has Guyana, which Guyana got promoted to A, which is kind of
Yeah.
sick.
Suriname's part of CONCACAF now and stuff.
Nicaragua's getting promoted to A. And so like the reason it was
Wait, but where's the U.S. in this?
We don't have to go through that.
US and Mexico don't have to do that. That's why I think they should change it to where they have to.
Again, it's not. It's
So they just
structured where we don't have
automatic
to do that.
qualifiers into
Yeah.
U.S. and Mexico are automatically qualified to the group stage,
Ass.
and then
Again,
in the group, in the group
yeah,
stage,
yeah.
it goes straight to the semifinals.
Which is why a couple
Wait,
months ago
is
we were
Canada
talking
in there
about
as well?
this. No, Canada's not. Canada's one of the only ones that has to do it.
I don't
Like
see that.
we're two of the only countries that do not have to do it, which is again why I say like it's not a competitive competition.
But I'm
'Cause,
not
you know,
seeing
we had to
Canada in the
qualify.
table.
Canada might be.
I think
They
Canada
might
is
not-
in the. I
They
think
might
they're
not
in
have
your
to. I
group.
think it's based off of world ranking. So I think
It
it's
probably-
U.S., Mexico,
probably
and
is.
Canada are the three highest.
Yeah, because they're not.
And
in
then
there.
and then it goes into three groups of three teams.
That's
So like
ass.
U.S.
Yeah.
had, I think, Honduras and
So then-
Trinidad in their group. Canada had, I can't remember, but
I mean, just
yeah,
just think about it.
it's-
Like, I mean, and I'm not
sure
not
it's
to throw like
really
bans or anything, but like the U.S. is kept out of the World Cup by Trinidad and Tobago, but like that could happen as well in this Nations League. Like, you guys could get kept out by any team at any
yeah,
moment.
that I think they should change it. Yeah.
So that's
If they want to make it to where the Nations League is like the main CONCACAF tournament, then they should change it.
But that's why, like a couple months ago, we were talking about it. I was one that was saying that either keep one or keep the other, but make it more competitive because it's not competitive. It's not competitive. It's not competitive structure. Like these teams are never going to get the opportunities to make more money to invest in their federations and improve like we need them to. Which is why they're trying to do the CONMEBOL and CONCACAF merger, which I'm totally fine with because I think that does help, and I think it's great also for South America. Because there'll be a lot more TV money and stuff like that for it. But at the current stage it's in, no, it's not competitive whatsoever.
As long as like there is a merger, like there's gonna have to be like two conferences essentially. Like it'll have to be maybe North is one and South is the other, and then they meet up into the Copa America or whatever it would be. But like as long as it's not like some bullshit where it's automatic bids, because that's no.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I don't think it
the
will be.
competition.
I don't think it will be.
Okay, I hope not, because that just takes away with the competition. That's I don't like that. Is the UEFA like that?
No, UEFA's not like that.
Okay.
UEFA, I'm pretty sure they all have to qualify through it. I could be wrong on UEFA.
I have no idea how the UEFA Nations League works.
You're more of the expert on that one, Italian boy.
You think he knows?
Well, I'm seeing all the
Does he know?
teams on here. I don't know. I'm seeing all the teams, most of the teams on here, so I don't think it's like that. I'm seeing England, Italy, Austria. Yeah, it looks like it's by group as well. So like the top teams are in the top groups.
Yeah. So that might be like that because I know like England got relegated to Group B, the last Nations League.
Yeah, England got relegated in Nations League. I forgot about that.
They're in B2.
Because remember that one TikTok where that guy was like, "Where did they get relegated to? CONCACAF?"
Oh my God.
They fucking dominate CONCACAF.
I think that's where the conversation of if England had to play CONCACAF, they wouldn't know what to do started.
I will be honest with you, the whole Nations League for both UEFA and CONCACAF, I never really looked too far into it.
Mm-hmm. It's a money grab.
Yeah. Like I was always like under the impression it was Copa America, Gold Cup or Euros, and that's it. I don't really care about anything else.
There's not a Nations League in South America, is there?
No.
It doesn't
but
really do anything.
There should just be
Just more games.
one major tournament in every region.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the
They
Nations
want that
League
to-
is the major tournament.
I know if they want that to be Nations League, that's fine, but then scrap the Gold Cup
When is the Gold Cup?
next year. I think. I don't
Next
think there's a
summer.
Is
Gold
it every
Cup
4
this year.
years or what?
Every 2
Every
years, that
2.
one.
Well, I
Every 2
mean,
years.
if we're not sending our toughest squads to the Gold Cup, at least, which this is whatever whatever your opinion is on this is your opinion on this, but at least it gives like those teams that won't win the Nations League an opportunity to win a trophy.
Yo, the narrative has switched dramatically because when we talked about this a couple months ago, you guys were hella against me saying get rid of the Gold Cup.
Well,
If you want to keep the Gold Cup, just make it a U23 or something. Make it a youth tournament. If you want to keep the Gold Cup.
So kinda
Yeah, but you guys didn't want to do that last
Olympics.
time.
what?
But the difference is the last time we had this discussion was
During Nations League qualifiers in like
but it
November.
was like that was kind of before it seemed like the Gold Cup was going to become the ugly stepchild. Like now it's pretty clear that nobody cares about the Gold Cup. And that nobody cares about the Gold Cup, yeah, I've changed my opinion.
There's no incentive on it. There's no incentive on it. We also haven't seen the Gold Cup since the summer. Since after we talked about
last summer, like Mexico, Canada, US, they didn't even send their strongest teams.
Mexico did, but that's because the federation needed to get the fans back on board.
Who won the last one?
Mexico.
Yeah.
So, because I think when you look at this Nations League, like, I know Mexico beat Panama 3-0, but that scoreline is really deceiving. We didn't play great. I know Jamaica lost to USA 3-1, but Jamaica was like 20 seconds away from knocking the USA out, except for a freak own goals. That's why I'm like, it is super competitive. A lot more competitive than people give it credit for. It's just, you see scorelines. We have lucky moments at times, which USA and Mexico have had throughout the history of the competition, which, it benefits of us, which, I mean, you always need a little bit of luck. But I mean, these smaller teams that we say aren't bad teams whatsoever.
But you also have that situation where it's like if you're already automatically bidded, like it's not, there's no incentivization, or like there's no tiredness that comes from qualifying. You know what I mean? Like there's no grinding into the tournament. So like you're always like a little bit fresher into. I know you guys are deeper than any other team, but you guys are also a little fresher and deeper.
I agree with you.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't like the aspect of automatic bids. I can understand it for for any tournament, the host country gets an automatic bid just because you kind of just need the home fans to like be rowdy, but not the two main powerhouses just get.
I would say unless not even in a regional tournament, I don't necessarily think the host should get a guaranteed. So obviously in the World Cup, I think it's fine, but
so you don't think like Germany should be an automatic bid for the Euros? You think they have to be
in their country?
Not necessarily like regional, because that's like regionally it's harder. I think it makes it because there's less teams. Like in the world, it makes sense to have the host guaranteed qualify. Because more teams are going to be allowed in a World Cup. Whereas in a regional tournament, and maybe it's different because we watch a smaller region, but like just having the host take a guaranteed spot away from a team that might, potentially need it. I just feel like in a smaller region like CONCACAF, it might be just a better opportunity to have that extra spot open. Because let's be honest here, it's going to be the US, Canada, or Mexico hosting every time. And those three are probably going to be qualifying every time, no matter what.
No, correct. So it's going to be the United States every time.
It's going to be the U.S. hosts everything.
Because for revenue stream, it makes the most sense because you can charge more money out here. Mexico fans are going to show up, and usually are the highest attendance in the competitions. Like it is good money. It's always going to be held.
I wish they would.
I agree.
Canada or Mexico.
That'd be cool. But they will never do it.
Those are the only two other countries, though, that have the infrastructure to host.
But then think about like if for some reason another like one of the islands or something surrounding the U.S. were able to create the infrastructure.
Oh, I'd love it.
And we're able to host it. Imagine that country just doesn't get in. There'd be no incentivization for the actual islanders to go to games.
No, that's true. Reason.
So like it's like a yin and yang. Like I can understand what you're saying that because being in the U.S. like you don't want the U.S. to be an automatic bid just because they're the host, but then like if it was something where like the Euros where it's rotating around a bunch of the countries, like you still do want your host country in there just to be able to really make it rowdy, make it topic because not everyone from every country can go into any.
No, you're right.
Country. Like I'm sure like say like Ukraine, like not a lot of Ukrainian fans are going to go to those games. So you want like the other teams' fans or just the home country to be able to go into those games and like make an effort for both teams, type of thing.
Well, do we want to talk about the actual games now?
I will let that.
Sure.
Who wants to start? Who wants to start with Mexico, Panama?
Oh my God, Brandon! I just saw your hashtag. You're such a.
I love Takahashi. The Takamami.
Don't disrespect Takahashi.
On this
podcast.
Panball.
No, I guess nobody knows what the hell.
Yeah, who was Takahashi?
Takahashi is our pro clubs keeper for any.
I remember. Okay, yeah.
Takimami saves us.
Did she
She's
sell?
ass.
Did she
Actually,
sell?
no. Okay, I said this is totally off subject, but this is what I said while we were running a pro clubs match. She is the Darwin Nunez of keepers. She lets in the easy goals, but makes insane saves.
She made like 47 saves in the night, and then like
Dude,
the one
she
goal,
let in
the
the
one goal she
Nunez-
made a mistake on. Brandon was like, "We're really gonna have a dialogue, about that."
She let in the stupidest goals, and you agreed with me.
I agreed
You
on
agreed
one.
with me.
I agreed on
No,
one.
no.
After she
When I
made
said-
30 saves in a
when-
row
when
to
I
keep us
said-
in a match.
When I said she's the Darwin Nunez of keepers, you said you might be right.
You might be right because there was fresh
And
after that.
Daniel's there to back me.
We gotta start streaming pro clubs.
We do.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about the games, the four.
I agree, by the way, Brandon.
I guess the
do.
3 games. We don't really have much to say about the third place game, so we can just talk about both semifinals and the final.
I mean, congrats, what is it? Congrats, Costa Rica? Well, no, it wasn't Costa Rica. Panama.
Jamaica got
won.
third.
I don't remember
Yeah.
who won.
Did I don't think any of us outside of Edward watched it.
I didn't watch it. Actually, that's why I saw the goal because I was watching it with shout out Nate, who's a Panamanian fan after our indoor game. I watched the goal go in. I watched his face drop.
Damn.
So
Yeah, I watched it.
Were you at the press box for that one as well?
Yeah, I got there like right at kickoff, just because I had some work I had to do. So I was like, I might as well take in a game.
I was gonna say you could also talk about
Might
that.
as well.
Just a personal achievement for you and your experience
yeah.
on that.
Oh
second
yeah,
one.
I guess I can just kind of recap it a little bit. Yeah, I was in the press box. Let's see, where's my thing?
Yeah, it'll be mainly this
Ouch.
topic will mainly be for you. You got the floor on this, but
Hey.
Got my little press pass.
Hey.
Second time, second Nations League. Actually, Daniel, I've been to every single Nations League
I know we went to the first one together. in
because me
Denver.
and Daniel and Kyle went to the semifinals of the first one.
the worst
we-
person to go with too.
We-
He had
we
zero
couldn't
idea what was
stay.
going on.
But I didn't know. That was like 2 months into me knowing Brandon, or else we would have invited him for sure.
yeah,
Someone clip this and send it to Kyle.
Thanks for the invite.
Oh,
that's fine.
I didn't
Yeah,
really
I
know
met
you,
him, too.
Jose. That was before the pod.
That's my brother
Hey.
though.
way before.
That's true. That is on him. That's not on me. Anyway,
Valid.
He didn't know you very well either.
We're strangers basically at the time.
and then last year was my first time ever getting a press pass, which we talked about, I think, on this podcast
We did.
in Las
Yeah.
Vegas. I went to the semifinals of that, and then just got back yesterday. Was down there for the semifinals and the finals. I mean, yeah, it's just awesome. It really just is like a dream come true, you know, getting to talk to the players and be in the press conference room. I smiled at Greg Berhalter and he smiled back at me. It's pretty interesting. He was walking into the room and I just looked up and I just had no other reaction other than to smile. And then he had like
Big smile or
his shirt was wet. His shirt was wet because they had been like popping beers or whatever, I'm
Champagne.
sure, in the locker room. Yeah. I tried to ask a question to him, but they, you know, US soccer has their little goblins in the media that they pay because I wasn't going to ask a softball question. So
You're more proper than me. I would have scowled at him.
for winning.
Now, was that-
I
Was
didn't
it
know
a
how to
happy
react.
smile or
Like
was
Hey.
it like a-
I'm looking in the face of my manager. I didn't know how to react. I was just like,
Us-
oh shit.
Us winning is papering over the cracks. Although,
I mean, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
he fielded
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
yeah, we'll get to that now.
I sat in on, is it Jimmy or Jaime Lozano?
It's Jaime, but he goes by Jimmy.
Okay, I sat in on his press conference too, which was cool.
Is that Chucky Lozano?
No, that's our head coach.
Okay.
You're thinking of Irving Lozano.
Which we'll
Again,
get.
Okay.
I didn't really understand much of what they were saying, but like I could pick up on a few things that the reporters were asking
Mhm.
and that he was saying in return. But yeah, and then my favorite part of the whole experience is like the little mixer zone where the players walk through and the reporters get to talk to them one-on-one, not one-on-one, but like kind of right up in front of them. Like I was standing so close to like Yunus Musa, Tyler Adams, all those guys came through. Pineda, what's his first name? Pineda on Mexico.
Oribe?
Oribe? No, Orbelin.
Yeah.
Orbelin.
Santi Jimenez never came through, which was sad. I was hoping he would. A couple other players from Mexico came through, but yeah, it's awesome, man. It just fuels me to work as hard as I can, you know, being there and being in the press box. So,
Well, hey, yeah, man, we're proud of you.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
W Eddie.
I got handed this little notebook, Nations League Finals notebook.
Ooh.
So
Were
I
you
took
able to
notes.
take notes or no?
I took notes on the game, yeah, while I was watching, and then I wrote my predictions for this week's Premier League games.
You can take this man out of the pot, but you can't take the pot out of the man.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, let's talk about what happened on the field. Should we start in the semifinals?
Yeah, I think we ought to.
All right, Brandon, should we go first or?
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah, since our game was first, we can go first.
Okay. Abdon, get your ass back in here.
I'm getting water. Just give me a second.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
He just wanted to show the Doku.
No, that was being in that press box. And like obviously, you know, you're not supposed to cheer and you're not supposed to root, but you know, the American journalists, you know, they want the US to win, and it's obvious by, you know, the way they carry themselves and, you know, kind of react. The vibe, and from the minute that goal went in, the vibe in the press box was just like shell shocked. And then as the game progressed, you could just tell everyone was like, what the fuck are we watching? I mean, I genuinely think, result aside, that was the worst performance the US has ever put in under Greg.
The Jamaica one?
Yeah, genuinely. I don't even care that we won. I think that was the worst performance we've ever put in.
So obviously I was working. But I tried to, dude, before I could even pull up the stream, I got the notification that we were 1-0 down. Are you kidding me?
31 seconds. 31 seconds.
I was like less than a minute into the match and we're already losing. I was like, what is this goal? So I looked at it and I was like, dude.
Was it bad? I didn't look. I didn't watch.
It was
one of those goals where everyone was just nobody knew. Yeah, nobody knew. The defenders had no idea what to do.
Like, yeah, they shit themselves, and then Matt Turner, dude, he
should have kept it out for sure. He should have kept it out.
If you get both your hands on it, absolutely you should be saving it.
It was like a lofted ball to the back post, and Matt Turner like shifted over, and Scally was like late to mark his man, so it was like a semi-free header.
It wasn't even his man.
Or yeah, it wasn't even his man, but
Weah just didn't.
The header was near. Now it was Matt had slid over, so it was to his near side, and he got both palms on it and kind of pushed it into the net, like into the side part.
I mean, it would have gone into the goal anyway, but
he should have pushed it like forward.
Yeah, he tried to push it up onto the bar,
and I know pushing it forward would have pushed it back out into the line of play, but at least he had defenders right there.
Or he could have pushed it out, just like I don't fucking know.
I mean, usually it's like goalie 101 to not push it back in the field of play.
Yeah, don't push it out in the center of the box.
Well, I think it's also goalie 101 to not push it into your own goal.
Well, you know, well.
But like, was it like something where it was a ball, like a quick, like, was it a fast, hard hit ball?
Not really. The header was not the hardest hit ball, like hardest headed ball in the world. Like,
okay.
It was pretty.
Okay, it was a little lofty.
It was average.
Okay. Yeah, I can't.
Anyway, yeah, and then after that, there was just like no creativity, no urgency. Like they were honestly just asleep until
you guys tied it at the death.
Yeah,
it was an own goal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were USA. I gave them 20 seconds. They were probably 5 seconds away. They were a clearance away from.
That was the last play of the game. Yeah, of
my God.
Yeah.
Who got injured, which allowed that much extra time?
Well, and also,
Somebody,
I mean, Jamaica's players were definitely
Gassed.
hamming it up the way they were like
yeah.
walking off the field and doing all that. So they kind of did it to themselves.
Wasn't there
but-
somebody down on the field from like the 88th minute to the 92nd minute or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that.
And I was just like, bruh, oh my gosh, like just get the fuck up. It was a Jamaican player, and I was like, get the fuck up and get this shit on. Like I just
I know. I just wanted the game to end.
yeah, because I
at
thought
that
I was like,
point.
just end the game. We're gonna fucking lose, and then we ended up that happened.
Scoring, and then Reina and Haji Wright connected twice, and as soon as the goal went in for us, I knew we were gonna win. I was like, oh, we're gonna bail out Greg again. Like,
Aren't you happy you did that though?
someone's gonna show their quality and bail out the coach again, and we're just gonna look back at the result and be like, oh yeah, we won. Woo.
Yeah, but I would rather it not be Greg getting bailed out.
I feel like I'm listening to myself.
Unfortunately,
my
he looks
thoughts.
like unfortunate. I cannot emphasize unfortunately enough. He looks like a mastermind with his substitutions.
He did give really good subs the whole tournament, I will say. He didn't really put a wrong foot out the substitute wise.
If you were to get rid of Berhalter, who would you guys want? Actually,
Jim Curtin.
Guardiola.
Guardiola.
That's been a real name that's been thrown around in this podcast.
Jim Curtin.
by who? By who? Who's Dan Curtin?
Get Terry
What's wrong with
Henry
Jim
in there.
Curtin?
No,
He said
look
Jim
at that. Yeah.
Who?
Get Terry Henry in there.
Shut the
Jim
fuck
Curtin is Philadelphia Union's coach.
Okay.
I thought you want the Guatemalan coach.
Or him, yeah.
Yeah, I would like
His name.
What about Jose?
Shut up.
Perez, something Perez.
I want a United States national.
He coaches El Salvador, by the way. Hugo Perez.
Isn't your best coach all time a German
No,
national?
No, it's say who it is.
Klinsmann was not the best. It's Bob Bradley.
Is it? Because statistically, it's your head coach right now.
Statistically, it's Greg Berhalter, but don't let the stats fool you. Greg Berhalter hasn't won an away game in Concacaf since 2021.
That doesn't
I'm
matter.
just talking about
guys
like who's won you guys in those tournaments?
Greg
Greg.
Berhalter.
Bob Bradley? Huh?
Greg Berhalter.
Greg Berhalter.
Oh, wow.
But I think Bob Bradley is probably the best coach we've ever had in terms of
Probably
like,
for the
style of
team he
play.
had and everything. Yeah.
Bob Bradley
Yeah.
is the dad of the guy that
Of
coached
Michael
the
Bradley, yeah.
Okay. Remember that?
But
That
anyway,
was
yeah.
Swansea, right?
huh?
Yeah, Bob Bradley managed Swansea, I think,
No,
right?
Bob Bradley or wasn't it his
No.
son?
No, Bob Bradley managed Swansea. Michael was still playing at that.
Michael
time.
Bradley just retired like last year.
Oh, okay. Did Bob Bradley have a dad who was also in the sport?
I don't know. But actually, you're right, because Michael Bradley, I think, now works in
But no, this is
Swansea
what I
or
remember was the coach of Swansea. But I thought he had a dad who was also
Michael Bradley is like an assistant coach somewhere now. Maybe it's not Swansea, but it's somewhere. But
But yeah, keep going.
anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't know, Brandon. I can't really pinpoint a worse performance than that
Yeah, me neither.
in this era. And then obviously the talent of Gio
Well-
Reyna kind of bailing out the team.
Actually, that wasn't this era. Never mind. I was gonna say that Trinidad, but that wasn't this era.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was probably it. And the fact that we still ended up winning is kind of crazy.
Yeah, not much else to say on that game.
Lucky, yeah.
Lucky off for sure.
All right, Mexico, Panama. You're up next.
It was. I mean, we won 3-0. It wasn't as easy as we probably would have liked it to be. I remember telling Brandon when we were talking during our pro club session that, like, I know everyone's like, "Oh, you guys just dominated like Panama," which was not the case. I think we caused a lot of, we created a lot of our own like downfalls. We gave the ball away a lot. We struggled against their physicality. A lot of the chances they had were from our mistakes. So I think when we got those 2 goals in quick succession, it kind of calmed the game down. And from then it was very easy to just kind of maintain. But it wasn't a good performance, which has been kind of the vibe of the Mexican national team for like 3 years now. Yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it.
No, you pretty much said everything that I thought of.
Did
I'm just-
Ochoa come back out of hiding for these games?
What do you mean hiding? Oh yeah, well,
They're like, this man only shows up in like international tournaments.
No, I mean he's good overall. I mean, I
Right
won't
on,
lie.
sure.
He's definitely a big game player. But
Yeah.
for the most part, he still shows up.
he's
you're
talking
talking
about
about
the
that-
joke, Daniel. He's talking about the joke.
Like the joke how like
Oh,
Ochoa
the
just, like,
joke,
pops
how-
up,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
for
yeah.
Mexico and shit.
I
Like,
guess
this guy
in
doesn't
that
exist,
context,
and then like just pop.
in that
Ochoa is out.
context, no, he didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought our goals were good that game. Well, actually, no, not even. There was actually our set piece for Ederson was pretty good.
Edson.
Edson, I don't know why I said Ederson.
Ederson.
He's so sad. He wants to go back to Manchester City.
I know he wants to get back to City.
He's like, let's get back to real football.
The
Oh my
was good. And then the other two goals, well, I guess Pineda's goal was pretty good too. The fact that he realized that the keeper was really off his line,
And chipped
I
him.
thought that was a good goal as well. But other than that, those were like really our only three good moments we had. Panama had like several opportunities on goal. Whether they were good or not, that's a different thing. But the fact is they threatened our goal way more than we threatened theirs. So
Didn't they have a goal ruled out?
Yeah, it was offsides.
yeah, he was offside.
But it was like the 90th minute.
But other than that, dude, like it's exactly what Jose said. Like we got three good goals not three good goals, but we got three goals that calmed the game down. But statistically, if you were to look at the game, Panama should have won that game.
Yeah, they should have.
So
Just like Jamaica should have beat the USA.
You're so
right?
toxic.
And I guess the game versus what was it? Mexico
the
versus
final.
USA. Yeah.
Wait.
Brandon. Well, I guess you were at work, so really,
I
should-
watched every second though.
Oh, okay.
Are you kidding me, dude? I
love
was
that.
gonna miss this.
I love that.
I was on lunch, and then I turned it on the big screen TV. It was on. It was on the Spanish channel. I couldn't understand anything, but I looked at the lineup and I was like, "Oh shit!" the one tweet. What did you send me? He's like, "What did you send me, Eddie?"
I don't know about the lineup.
Yeah, it was like something about Berhalter's cooking.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me go.
I think it might be.
It was like a quote tweet because the lineup that said Berhalter remontada quote or question mark, and the picture says this pussy is actually cooking. What the fuck? It's Puss in Boots like with a pan and like a spatula.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, and I looked at the line. I was like, "Oh shit, we might do bits here." And I remember saying to you, I was like, "I'm glad seeing Adams in the starting lineup." And you were like,
I didn't say that. What?
I'd rather have Johnny in than
I
Adams,
didn't say
'cause
that.
he's
What
only
are you
gonna
talking
get
about?
45 to 60 minutes in, and then he goes and scores a banger, an insane goal.
Probably the best goal we've ever scored against Mexico.
I mean,
It was definitely world class.
oh, dude, it was so.
The
I
only
think-
thing that
I
comes
think-
close is Michael Bradley's chip. at
Yeah,
the
that
end.
was a good chip too.
The
Two best goals we've ever scored against Mexico. For
I
sure.
think that goal changed the game completely.
I think you're probably right, but
Because I think in
Yeah,
the first half,
nobody. What I noticed in the first half, it was just everyone was long ball merchants.
it was
Like, they were
very
just playing-
apprehensive.
they were playing long balls to see what would happen. Like nobody was creative. Nobody was like playing through the midfield. Like it was like, oh, Tim Ream, here, I'll just kick a long ball up.
Oh
to
my
see
god.
what we can do.
Yeah. I will because I think the first half, I
Hey,
think
he played
Pulisic
lights
had his big opportunity in the first minute, and then like in the 30th minute or something, Luis Chavez had that ball fall to him, that
Yeah,
fell right into his hand. So I think it was like I think the best players for both teams were the center backs.
In
for the
between the
first half.
legs.
Yeah, it went through. It was a perfect hit. And I think when that goal went in, my initial thought was either the response that Mexico had in the second half after the second goal was going to happen, or the USA was going to come out and dominate because they would have a lot more confidence. And it turned out that the USA came out second half and started dominating, got their second goal, and then Mexico had the reaction they should have had
yeah.
from the get-go.
Honestly, after the second goal, Mexico, I was like, I thought they were gonna get a goal because they had
Yeah,
a spell where they were really putting pressure on the defense. They
Well,
were
it
like
was-
getting in behind, like dangerous crosses. Like I was like, okay, they're here now. Like they
Well, and it
woken
was,
up.
and I think the issue was like the team we had. It's our best. Wasn't our best team on paper, but like our midfield's great, but it doesn't have the creativity. But I feel like once we brought in like Orbelin, we took off Antuña, the creativity started coming in, and I think that we should have happened before the second goal. Like we needed to change before the second goal because the reaction wasn't there. And then when you guys got the second goal, is when we made the substitutions. Yeah, when we made that substitution after Gio's goal, it was too late at that point. Because I mean, I remember talking at Brandon. I was like, I think whoever wins the game will be whoever shows up or whoever like gives away the first mistake. You know, we were talking about that because both teams didn't play great. And I saw as soon as that Tyler Adams goal went in, I was like, I think the USA will take this now. And then when we came out, like I said before the substitutions, what I saw and the lack of initiative from our head coach, and Gio Reyna's goal going, I was like, that's GG right there. I do think it was
a little scuffed.
It was, but
it was a good struck volley, but I think Ochoa has to keep.
He could have stopped it.
Ochoa should have stopped it. Vasquez should have never headed it back out into the center of the box like that. But I mean, fair play to Gio Reyna. It was a good finish.
It was.
And I will say, I don't think it was. I think we have a better coach now than we did.
I was going to say, I think he is better, but sorry, you finish your point and then I'll make my point.
Well, I know what you're going to say. I do think just on paper and like in terms of squad, I do think the USA have a better squad. I definitely do think it showed that the quality of the spare is not as large as people made it sound like it was, but it definitely is there. And that it's not close.
Well, what I was going to say is I think now that like I think it's gotten to a point where I just don't think that Mexico can play the way they want to play against the United States. Like I think they have to. The key to beating Jamaica kind of showed the blueprint of how to beat the United States. Sit back, low block, don't just absorb the pressure because there's times where the US just have no creativity, no service. Like a lot of times Gio Reyna's being misused. Like, so you kind of just sit back and absorb pressure, let the US have possession and hit on the counter. I think that's the key to beating the US. And I think if Mexico does that, they'll start to pick up results again against the US.
Well, that's why we need a coach that's a lot more tactically flexible. When we had Miguel Herrera, we played a back three. We played what Chelsea played in like 2014 during the World Cup, during the qualifications, and during up the run through like the 2015 like Gold Cup and so on until we got Orozco, I think was his name.
We played a back three in 2014.
We played basically we played a 3-4-3 essentially
in
for a long time.
2014.
Yeah, in 2014 World Cup, we played 2014 World Cup. We played.
Oh, you said Chelsea.
Chelsea. We played. No, you're right. It was 2016. You're right. That's when Conte came in.
Yeah, I was thinking like when did we play a back three with Jose?
Yeah, because I think one thing that Mexico lack right now are good wingers, but we have actually a lot of depth in midfield. We have a phenomenal striker, and we've got good fullbacks and good center backs. We just don't have the wingers. So we need to eliminate the wingers and go back to a 3-4, like a 3-5-2 or something.
I was gonna say a 3-5-2 might be better for you.
If would be, but
if you're stacked out on midfield.
But I think we have a lot of talent in midfield that we're not utilizing like we should. The only issue is we have a coach that is of the Pep Guardiola blueprint. So 4-3-3 is the only way to go. And that's kind of
doesn't even really do a 4-3-3 anymore.
No, you're right, but that's the blueprint. That tiki taka, that's the blueprint. But I do think like GG to the USA. I think their coach knows their team, and our coach, I feel like, is pressured to keep playing the same team because he needs results. Because he's not going to have the time to do the generational change.
Do you think he could get sacked if you guys get knocked out of the group stage in Copa America?
I think he's going to get let go regardless after Copa America. My issue is though, like I like him. I think, and I'll let Daniel share his thoughts on it too. I like him. I liked his idea because he was going to be the one to do generational change. But I think the issue with Mexico is Mexico and Mexico fans want change so badly, but they want results at the same time. And both of those are not going to be synonymous. And, like his big quote during this whole tournament was like, oh, Henry Martin, the striker that plays in Liga MX that we've seen in like 5 different competitions, perform shit. He's going to be the starting striker over Santi Jimenez. And the reason is he's got that experience. Henry Martin's got experience of losing, and I'm good on that kind of experience.
Did Santi play in the first game? Because honestly, I know it was kind of like a cameo, but when he came on against the US, I did not think he played very well.
He didn't play very well, but here's my issue with the whole Santi thing. He didn't play in the first game in the semifinals. He
didn't play in the first game?
We had 2 injuries.
Okay. So then he might have been rusty.
He might have been, but here's my issue. My issue is, and Daniel can back me up on this, and I'll let Daniel take over after this. We give Henry Martin. They've given this guy 4 years as the since 2022, since the World Cup. They've given them 2.5 years as the starting striker. That man has scored 2 goals, and they love this man. They praise this man. Santi Jimenez have been given 2 starts, maybe 4, and has not had the creativity behind him. And they'll send him to the bench immediately and go, "You're not good enough." They won't give him the time they give Henry Martin, and that bugs me. But I'll let Daniel talk about his thoughts.
Yeah, I just want change in the federation too. Like I like Jimmy, but I do think he's being pressured from the federation to call up these players that are not performing at the same caliber as they used to. Or even some players that statistically are performing at the caliber that they're supposed to be playing, and then they don't show up and perform. I don't like seeing Acuna at 5, 6, 7 major competitions for Mexico and him doing nothing. I don't like seeing Henry Martin at three or 4 major competitions now and him not doing anything. And when we have all this quality and depth and even potential that just doesn't get called up, it not only infuriates me, but it's getting to a point to where, and Jose can even say this too, and it sucks saying this, but like I'm becoming disinterested in Mexico. Like I hate saying that because I grew up watching this team. I grew up watching Mexico was the first team I watched growing up. And I hate seeing us lose. I'm okay with losing. I'm not okay with us losing and seeing no change happen when the same mistakes are being made. So I just think the biggest thing is just our federation needs to change. They said they changed and nothing's really happened. Like there was who came into the federation? I can't remember who came in.
We got a new president. We got a board of like 6 specialists from countries all over the world. So we got like a board of like specialists. So I think it's like Andres Guardado. I think it's Rafa Marquez, Puyol, a couple other players that are supposed to help kind of like guide it.
And nothing's being changed. It's the same thing that happens over and over and over again. And then the other thing is that, like I said earlier, we're throwing all of our eggs into this experienced group, and their time is over. Their time is done. So we need to pass it on to a new generation who can at least get some experience. We're going to lose, and that's fine. I'm okay with losing, but as long as I'm seeing change happen and it's positive change, I'm okay with losing. I'm okay with it taking as long as it needs to take, but I don't want to see change happen, or at least they preach about change and then not see anything happen. And
that's what I will say, and I know Brandon hates this when I say this, but it is true. That is where I think that, we've improved a lot, and we've kind of that the big reason why we've kind of overtaken Mexico is because, we've stopped calling in the Jordan Morrises and the Jackson Ewells and the Sebastian Legettes and Paul Ariolas, the guys that we were like, oh, these MLS lifers that the U.S. soccer keeps forcing us to call in. Like something's changed clearly because those guys haven't been on the team since before the World Cup. I mean, Shaq Moore made the World Cup, which is still shocking, but like that's like the last time I can honestly look at a roster and be like, why the hell are we still bringing these guys? These guys are not good anymore. Like they maybe never were good. And we've just shown more willing and more willing to try younger players out and to get rid of the guys who just clearly aren't good enough. And I think that that's something that Mexico does struggle with.
I'll give you why I think you struggle with it. And then sorry for if I just cut off. I just want to say this one thing. I think you're 100% right, except there's 3 things I think that are key to why the USA took over Mexico. One of them Mexico has fixed. The other one they're not going to fix. One is you've called up youngsters. Like you guys are not scared to call up an 18-year-old and play.
Our 3/4 of this roster that we just had was under 23.
Yeah. And when you guys started calling them up, they were 18, 19, 20. Pulisic was 17 playing in
Trinidad. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one. 2, I think in your league, you guys aren't scared. The league wasn't scared to play youngsters, which Mexico kind of has fixed. We've had a lot of debuts for like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and that's great. But the biggest thing I think it is the USA made it extremely easy and made pipelines for young talent, even 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds to go to Europe. And Mexico refused to sell their best talent without like clubs paying an arm and a leg. They absolutely refuse it. They have cut. I think there have been in the last 2 years, there have been 12 players that could have gone and got a move to Europe, and they've rejected every bid.
And I mean, yeah, like Kevon Sullivan, Daniel, is 14 years old and is getting picked up by Manchester City.
Yeah. And
he's made like 2 or 3 appearances for the Philadelphia Union second team. Like he's really only been in like youth MLS teams, but the pipeline and like he's clearly ready, I guess, to go play in City's academy. And, you just aren't seeing that I know of. You just aren't seeing that with Mexican internationals.
We do have young players.
You see it with
the one thing I could say with that is maybe, the parents can't support moving to those European countries as well from Mexico. You know what I mean? It's like there are still laws where like they need to be, the parents need to be with the kids to go to Europe, as long as they're under the age of 18. So it could be a case of some parents are not being able to financially support that. I know that like Pulisic, his dad got given like a job with Dortmund when he came over, but I don't know how prevalent that still is for.
Well, we do have.
Kids.
They have passed laws now where they make it very easy to get a work visa and make it very easy for young kids because we have a lot of young talent in academies in Europe. Mm-hmm. We have a lot actually. The issue is the talent that's ready because I think Liga MX is a great like starting league for a lot of players, get playing time and then go. The issue is not a lot of those players, the ones that are 21, 22, 23 can actually make the jump and go. And then if they do make the jump and go, if it doesn't work out for them, they come running back, which isn't a big deal to me, except the issue is that Mexico can match what a lot of these other European clubs can pay. Like not a Chelsea, not a Real Madrid, not those kind of players, but like your mid-table teams, like your Fulhams, those kind of teams. They can match those wages. You can get paid $80,000 to $100,000 as a 21-year-old. And that's also an issue that's keeping a lot of talent here in Mexico because they get comfortable. So I mean I think the biggest thing is the allowance to go to Europe from the USA, like that the soccer federation. They've made it so easy. I think every nation has made it so easy because I'm not gonna lie, I think Mexico have the least amount of European talent in CONCACAF now. Like we don't have that many players in Europe. I think Suriname have a full European team. Like players that play in Europe, in the championship, in Spain, and different places. And we don't. And that speaks volumes.
I know. Yeah, I was watching Football Americas on ESPN, and they were saying that it's like the U.S. has like 100-something players scattered across all of Europe or something like that. And Mexico is in like, it's like 30-something or 40-something. players in Europe across like the whole federation.
Is that across all ages?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, don't get me wrong, we have a lot of good youth. Like, that's one thing that Mexico has always done really well. It's like we've done really well in all
But
these
you guys
youth
grit-
tournaments.
Live and breathe the sport.
Yeah, but
Whereas,
the
like,
issue is we just don't give that youth
A
the
chance.
ability to progress. We stunt
Yeah.
them at Liga
Yeah.
MX level, and I think that's what's killing us. Whereas like the USA, like again, like they have a lot of players that this country doesn't live and breathe, but the players that do live and breathe this sport from a young age, they get the opportunity to go and develop. Which
And I
we
mean, I
just
think
don't do.
I don't want to sound like a bias, but if America did live and breathe this sport, I think they would have won a World Cup by now.
Oh, 100%. You have so much money here in this country.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
They would have won a World Cup by now if it was the number one sport. And I mean, the progress that we've made is incredible. I was saying on the podcast I recorded for my site that I was like, I never thought I would. If you would have told me in 2014 through 2018, like if you would have told me back then, like the US is going to get to a point where they are consistently, having players scoring at the highest level and beating Mexico in finals and winning 3 consecutive trophies, like I would have been like, nah, that's never going to happen. But like, I know there's still things that we do wrong. I'm not ignoring those things, but the progress has been, especially since the failure of 2018, the progress has been really good. And it's starting to show.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're starting to see players in Serie A and, Pulisic's having his best season of his life, like players all around the world, where before the World Cup, it was like here and there you'd have players in Europe, but before we failed to make the World Cup, I think that the majority of that roster, if not all of that roster, was MLS players at the 2014 World Cup, and then the ones that failed to qualify in 2018. And now our entire roster, apart from one player, was Europe-based players. And I think that Mexico needs to start sending players to Europe earlier and allowing them to go whenever they feel like they're ready to go.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
because that's what we've started doing, and look at it now.
Yeah. Well, just look at like Brazil and Argentina. Like Argentina's sent their best player of all time. Of course, he had the growth. No.
Neymar Jr.
Argentina.
Oh, Argentina, Messi. Yeah, at 12 years
old.
old.
Argentina. I thought you said Brazil. I'm sorry.
No,
Argentina. In my head, you said Brazil for some reason.
No, Argentina. Argentina sent their best player ever. Of course, he had like the growth issues and all that, so he had to get the treatments in Barcelona because they could pay the bills. But they, from that young of age, they sent players away if need be. You got, like you said, the Endricks, the Neymars, the Vinnies, the Rodrigos, all these things. Like they get sent out like from a young age, and that benefits the country. It might not benefit the league, but
No,
I
right.
guess that those countries. I don't know how it is with Mexico's culture in general, but those countries live and breathe the national team. I don't know if they live and breathe the league so much.
I think it's both in Mexico. The only thing I can tell you, like the only recent case I can tell you I've done that will really put an understanding of how hard it is for players to get out of Mexico. Luis Chavez, he went to Russia last summer. Luis Chavez had to buy himself out of his own contract to sign as a free agent with Moscow. He had to buy himself out because I think Pachuca, which was the team he was playing for, they were like, we want $6 million. Moscow was like, all right, we'll give you $6 million. They were like, no, actually, we want $11 million. So he forked up, I don't know, like $8 million of his own money, paid out his contract, and went and signed as a free agent. That's how hard they made it. That's how hard they make it.
And that's just hurting the Mexican national team in general.
100%. Like, it's more competitive in the youth rankings, and Daniel can back me up on this. It's more competitive in the youth development, like the under 21s, under 17s, under 23s, than it is in the actual national team itself. And that's because
just trying to compete.
Do you think the youth team would have a chance to beat the A team if they played?
I think it's closer than people want to admit it is, because I think the issue is our A team is full of Liga MX players, and people say, "Oh, well, like they're too good." Yeah, but our B team is full of a bunch of Liga MX players and probably more European talent that's playing abroad. They probably would beat the under 23s, except for a quality moment here and there from a couple players.
By the way, I have breaking transfer news.
Oh my
This just
God.
came in This just came in 2 minutes ago.
Who's getting
from
signed by Real Madrid?
Tom Bogert, MLS writer. LAFC is finalizing a deal to sign France all-time leading scorer Olivier Giroud, per sources.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Deal
saw
will
that.
start-
Yeah.
Deal will start after the Euros, guaranteed through 2025.
Damn. I'm gonna miss Big Ollie in Europe. I like that at Milan. I like them.
Absolute
He's still
legend,
playing.
dude.
He's still playing really well for Milan too. That's going to be.
Absolute
A
I'll be
legend.
honest with you. I regret selling them. I think Chelsea
I wonder who
is in a
Milan will
way
sign for
different
striker.
spot.
Absolute legend.
Lukaku.
Well, Milan, dude. They're kind of
Honestly,
like
actually, you know
they're
what?
on
It's
their
not a bad.
downslope right now because they just, they're on their downslope because of financial reasons. So they might sign Lukaku.
Roma's not taking Lukaku. Inter's not
Lukaku.
taking Lukaku.
Juventus
say,
won't take him
Juventus
either.
is not taking Lukaku.
Maybe they'll
Shit.
sign another U.S. forward.
Yeah,
Stop.
maybe they'll go for Bally.
Sargent.
Ooh, nah, that's too big of a jump. He needs to stay.
I was gonna
with
say maybe Balogun,
Pepe.
who's
Pepe.
been pretty bad.
Pepe is the one that I could see actually making a difference in Milan.
Balogun.
This doesn't help.
good
This
shit.
doesn't help my agenda though. I need Lukaku.
Wait.
Gone.
Maybe they'll sign DK.
Maybe they'll sign Sterling.
Dude, DK, look,
He's done.
Rip him.
he's torn his ACL 2 years in a
Twice.
row now.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to play.
I think his career low-key might be over.
His career might be over.
At the
Like,
highest
it really
level.
is.
I
Sad.
think
I mean, he was never going to be a star, but it still is really sad to see that.
Dude, I think Giroud and maybe Liao might be also sold this summer.
I think Leao will be
Brand
because
new-
for
Leao
financial
might be.
Yeah,
That'd
Leao
be
might get sold.
almost a brand new front three for Milan.
That's
They'll
not
have
good.
Pulisic.
Pulisic's
That's
lonely
it.
now. He's going to be
Yeah.
lonely at the start of next season.
And I also think it's benefit of Pulisic to have, defenders have to concentrate on Giroud and Liao. So it's been able to allow him to open up.
Yeah.
So him being the main man again, it'll be just clamped down again at all times. Like it was
Maybe
at
he
Chelsea.
won't be the. Well, actually, he probably will be the main man, but
We'll see who they sign. It'll depend on who they sign.
well, it doesn't sound like they'll be able to sign anybody that great.
I was
It
gonna say
depends how much they get for Leao.
AC Milan are in financial trouble
think
too.
a little
Most
bit.
Italian.
They had to
teams are in
sell.
financial
I mean, they
trouble.
sold Tonali because they needed funds
Yeah.
because of their loans getting. They had to cover their loans for. I don't remember whose transfers it was, but yeah, they had.
Most Italian
yeah,
teams are down bad right now.
it's pretty bad, and they were just on their come up too after their fucking hole that they had to dig themselves out of, just to climb right back into it.
Yeah, that Chinese ownership really fucked them back up in 2012.
Yeah,
It
dude.
really fucked them up. They probably had other financial issues that I'm not aware of, but I know that was a big one. Then they sold to another Chinese company.
Well,
And now they
wasn't
just
Inter
turned in
supposed to
favor.
default on their loans as well?
They'll probably they got they were able to stay afloat with the Onana sale and stuff. And then they'll probably end up selling Lautaro this summer. They'll probably end up selling Barea and a couple other players. But they'll probably buy really cheap quality older players and then they'll just be fine.
I would like actually. Yeah, I would like Barella. Yeah,
Good presser. But yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know,
not
Brandon.
23, so
We kind of got off on a tangent. Well, I guess because the
breaking news.
the Giroud
Yeah.
thing kind of threw us off on a tangent.
I guess Brandon down. Do you guys have any comments on it?
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to say? I guess we can get back to the game itself. You
About
guys didn't-
Giroud?
No,
about U.S. Mexico.
U.S. Mexico. You guys didn't really talk about the game that much. The two of you.
Damn. Okay, we're going way back.
Well, just in general, anything.
Or
Just
anything,
not-
yeah.
yeah.
We kind of talked about the game for like 5 seconds and then moved on to the weeds of the federations.
I guess you're right. All I was gonna say is
Because I have one other comment to make to you, Brandon. But sorry, go ahead.
when and I hate myself for this, but when Tyler Adams scored his goal, I looked away because I was like, "Oh, he's 30 yards. He's
You
30
told me
yards
this.
out. He's not gonna do
He's
anything."
totally what?
I looked away because I was at work and I was like, I had to do something else. I looked away and in my earbud I hear Adams, and I was like, what the fuck happened? And I was like, we scored. I was like, what the fuck? He was 30 yards away. And then I looked at the goal and I was like, oh shit, bro hit a fucking insane goal. And then with the Reina goal, I was shook because I was like, I thought he was going to take a touch or something, and then he just took it first time, and then it went in, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? That was quick, because I wasn't even expecting a snapshot goal like that.
He's so good.
And I think that's might have been why the goal went in. I don't think Ochoa might have been thinking he was going to take it that quickly, because I thought he was going to take a touch, and there was a few players in front of him too. So I mean, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. Overall, a really good game. There was that like 15-minute period where Mexico started really.
It was right around. It was right around that penalty, that VAR.
Yeah, dude,
really,
that was so scary. I was like, oh fuck.
I know from up in the box, I was like, oh no, that's a pen. And then when they were showing the replay, he never even touched him.
Yeah.
No.
And what I was gonna say to y'all's point about Anthony Martin, bro missed a huge opportunity.
Yeah, that's the first opportunity I think I've seen him make for himself in God knows how long. And he did that.
And he didn't even put it on target.
Nope, it was one of the worst shots.
I was like, bruh, this guy.
And he's the face of our attacking line.
Don't worry though, he's got experience in those types of games. Don't worry about it. Fuckers.
I mean, it was pretty even in the first half. And then when we lost control after Tyler Adams' goal, that goal really put us in a bad spot, because it's one thing to be 1-0 down, but to be 1-0 down right before the half ends, that's
always killing.
That is mentally tough on any team. So
on a generational strike, it also
like
it kills it.
Like you can't like that makes or breaks teams, and like we're not in a good spot. So I was not very optimistic after that point. And then when the second goal came, it was done. So I don't really have anything else to say other than like I don't think either team played all that well, but I think US, apart from the Tyler Adams, because that was just like a wonder strike, but for the most part, the US made better chances than Mexico.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, even like right out of the gate, Ochoa made that save on Pulisic. That was like 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
We were not Tim Weah at the start of the second half had a couple chances.
Yeah, we're not. It kind of good. Like that team just sums up just Mexico the last 4-5 years now, probably a little bit longer after what's his name got sacked, the Colombian manager.
Well, after he chose not to extend his contract.
Yeah, Orozco.
Orozco, I can't remember his name.
Orozco, something like that.
Osadio.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Missed that, man.
Well, Brandon,
call back whenever you want, bro.
I just have one more like thing to say to Brandon about the roster and the players, and then we can move on. But I love him to death. He provided me a banger tweet, but if 37-year-old Tim Ream is starting for us at the World Cup, we have a problem. Like, he played really well. He played really well in the final. He was the best center back. He was the best defender on the field for us that game. And at 35 years old, what he's doing for us still is unbelievable. I tweeted out Tim Ream when he puts on a USM&T jersey, and it's a gif of Virgil van Dijk. Because, I mean, he's not playing for Fulham. Like, he's kind of fallen out of that squad. And then he puts on our jersey and has a great game and carries our defense. But anyway.
Call up John Brooks.
I worry about our center back depth for 2026 because he'll be 37. He should not be starting for us at 37.
Call up John Brooks.
I mean, I think we all know that bridge is burned. Speaking of bridges burned.
Repair the fucking bridge then. Fuck.
It didn't burn. It got collapsed.
Okay, good. You knew what I was.
Drinking and driving. They lost
Don't do
control
that.
of this.
You knew what I was on about.
You
Okay.
repair that
I
bridge
know.
by sacking the guy.
I think what he must have done has gone way deeper than just Greg. I think it's probably the Federation that doesn't even want him up anymore.
I was gonna say because
Must have
Gio
been-
Reyna.
Because Gio Reyna and Greg are hugging after he scores a goal.
Yeah.
Like they've clearly buried the hatchet.
Nah, that's gotta
And
be
I mean,
publicity.
he
That's
must
gotta be
have-
publicity.
He must have made a joke about him being bald. Pep
No,
Guardiola.
what he did probably
Guardiola
was he
so
probably was it was probably in training, and he was probably saying that these tactics don't work. You're not a good enough coach. Like he was probably saying stuff like
And he's
that.
valid.
He was saying what the fans want the media to say, but the media won't say it. I was gonna ask Greg a question that would have been like.
Actually,
What
what
would
would
you
you
have
have
asked?
asked him? Because I want to know.
So what I was gonna say was, I don't think I would have been able to spit it out because the first half of the question is like the bad part. But I was gonna say, Greg, in your 6 years as manager, yet to have a signature win. How does a win like this prepare you for Copa America and playing teams like Brazil and Argentina and Uruguay to potentially get that signature win? That was going to be my question. I had it written down too, and I was ready.
He'd be like, next question.
Someone from USSF would escort me out of the room. They'd be like, "Sir,
Yeah, I was
please
gonna
leave."
say you get pulled out, be like, you gotta leave.
That
Are you not
That would've
allowed?
been-
To, are
It
you
would
not allowed?
it would have
to-
been like the dictator movie. Just
Cut him off. Cut the mic off.
Get him out. Get him out.
I just can't believe you're not allowed to ask like the hard hitting questions.
It's not that you're not allowed. It's that there's kind of like a
There's a pecking
unspoken
order. There's a
thing.
pecking
There's an
order.
unspoken thing with U.S. soccer media that the Athletic and ESPN and all those guys that cover the U.S. for them are kind of paid off by U.S. soccer to make it look better than it is. And, not really kind of not because, like in sports like the NBA and NFL, like there's pressure put on these coaches when they don't perform. There's no pressure
Right.
put on Greg when
What?
he's not performing. They say,
You don't
"Oh,
think-
well, you grinded out a 1-0 win against Honduras at home. Nice job getting the win." Instead, it's it should be more like there should be pressure and coming from media, and it just isn't like that. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like U.S. soccer has their hand in what the media does and doesn't say.
What, you don't think the USA have graduated Concacaf and should be gone from Concacaf and shouldn't be in this region anymore? Like I
No.
see all over the Twitter. I did see a reply to somebody. on
Yeah, that guy at Yahoo, I saw him at the games.
This isn't the first time that article is.
That guy's an
circulated.
Hey,
idiot.
whoa.
And there's other
whoa.
U.S. fans that are disagreeing with him.
What is
So-
it? What is it?
There's not just this time, but last year too. There was a lot of USA fans or not just USA fans, but there were articles written on the USA saying that they're too good for CONCACAF and they need to be playing in different regions.
This guy
they're too
from
good.
like
this
Cabo
guy
Bowl,
from Yahoo
Like
Sports
CONMEBOL, like
wrote an article
Europe,
that
all
said
that.
the U.S. men's national team has outgrown Mexico and graduated CONCACAF.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
And I quote tweeted it and said, Greg Berhalter's teams haven't won an away CONCACAF game since 2021.
You can't
I mean,
graduate.
it took a 6-minute,
A 96-minute own goal.
yeah, like
Even
That's the type of horse shit that U.S. soccer is telling our media to say.
They're telling our
That-
children.
They're
even
fucking dumbasses.
even if
bro.
we won like 3 World Cups in a row, and like no other other nation was close to in CONCACAF touching us, I would be like, well, that's tough because this is where we are as a country. Like we live in this region. Like, and
he wasn't necessarily saying that they should leave the region. We've already
no,
done
he's
that.
saying you should pick up the U.S. and move him over here.
He's saying like
Yeah.
we're just
I
that
know.
much above the rest of the field.
which is
that
just
it's
not
like,
true.
I mean,
I mean,
it's not. It's not.
We're better, but we're not.
We're the best.
that
Yeah,
much
we're
above them.
the best team, but we're not good enough to say we have graduated CONCACAF. But like, I think it's pretty clear.
How could he write that article when it took a 97th minute own goal?
And we haven't won an away game in 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
And that.
I'm gonna need you to breathe.
Next time you do that, give me a warning so I can turn on my headphones.
How can you say that when you haven't won an away game in 3 years? U.S. soccer media is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
As
Let's do
everyone says
predictions.
after that
Let's do
TikTok.
predictions. I
After that
say
TikTok.
I say that as a proud member of
As a proud member of U.S. media,
Concacaf.
Concacaf
please
media.
let me go to Copa America. Please.
All right, should we do our prem predictions?
I'm ready, Abdon.
Let me get my notebook out.
Oh, he didn't do his we don't know the table, we don't know nothing. This man came
Remember,
unprepared.
the table didn't
There was
change.
no table. The table didn't change.
It changed in my mind.
Oh God!
What did it do? Last week this week that?
Give me a recap. Where we at? Actually, I could probably pull it up in the. It's in the
You can
Discord,
pull
isn't
the
it?
last one, yeah.
I'm like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm like that. Boom.
That's not accurate, I don't think. Is it accurate?
Well, then this was the last one.
That is accurate.
This
It
is the last
accurate.
one.
It is accurate. It is accurate.
I was gonna say, am I being lied? Am I being fed false?
Yeah, because
false-
there's
No,
only
you're right. You're good. You're good.
there's only the one game, or no?
As
Wait,
long as I'm not last, that's all that matters.
You are
I
last.
thought
No, I'm not.
You
Oh,
want
I
to
am
do the
last.
maths?
Fuck.
You want to do the maths?
No,
You
I
are
was
last.
reading. I was reading last week and not this week. Because last week I'm not
Oh.
last, but this week I am. So
I thought the week before the international break we only had one game and everybody won.
Yeah, it was Spurs. It was Spurs Fulham, and no one got a point, so it didn't change.
Yeah, so this isn't accurate technically based on points.
If no one got
It
a
is
point,
accurate.
then it.
No
then
one
it
got
is
a point.
accurate.
It's
No
the
one
same.
got a point, so it's the same.
Oh,
So
'cause
zero.
Fulham- Okay. That's,
We all
I
said
forgot.
Spurs was
I
gonna win.
forgot.
We
I
all said-
forgot.
we
I
all said
forgot. I
Spurs was
forgot.
gonna
I forgot. I forgot. I forgot.
Okay, can I go on with the
Yes,
predictions?
yes, do it. Let's go.
Please, Daddy.
Whoa.
Chelsea at home versus Burnley. Edwardson.
3-0 Chelsea.
How was that?
I want a 1-0 Burn. Oh, not 1-0 Burnley. I'm sorry, 1-0 Chelsea. 1-0.
I like that. No, I like that.
No, I don't.
Daniel.
I think it'll be a 2-0 Chelsea.
Brandon.
Jose, what are you doing?
What?
I got a 2-0 Chelsea. Why are you deleting my predictions?
I'm gonna say a 1-0 as well.
Jose, you're a dickhead.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not
You
talking
are.
about.
You are.
Where's the proof?
Oh my
Spurs at home versus Luton.
bitch.
Oh God.
I'm gonna say a 3-1 Spurs. Brandon.
3-1 Spurs as well.
Hey.
Daniel.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to sabotage Brandon.
Yeah, can we stop sabotaging the predictions? I need to write
I was
this
gonna
down.
no, sorry, I was distracted. Okay, hold on. Before I ask you what game it was, I was gonna flip flop the score line from 3-1 Spurs to 3-1 Burnley or whatever it was. Okay, I'm locked in. I'm sorry.
Y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill.
Yeah, what game was
Spurs
it?
at home versus Luton.
Spurs Luton. I think they'll get a win.
Who's that?
I should hope so.
Oh my God.
3-1 as well.
Deleting shit.
Damn, we're all about to say 3-1.
You said 3-1?
No,
Yeah.
Jose won't say 3-1. He'll be different.
How's that?
I'll be right. I'll be right. 4-0. Don't be mad, Brandon.
Why does Daniel not have a? Oh, there it is.
4-0 Spurs?
Yeah, 4-0.
He's like,
Spurs.
nah, 4-0 Luton.
It would.
I don't know, man. I got.
I want to be different.
Okay, Eddie.
Oh
Sneaky.
my!
Tentative.
You're at home. You are at home.
3-1. 3-1 Spurs. I literally told you a second ago that I said 3-1 Spurs.
Okay, Eddie. Brentford at home versus United.
2-2.
How's that?
I want to say 0-0.
Oh God, that would be so
Daniel.
boring.
For which game? I didn't hear it.
Oh my! Brentford at home versus United. Last time I'm doing it. Next time you're just gonna have to give me a score.
Yeah. You guys gotta start paying
I'll look it up.
attention.
Or you just
Or
look at the
I'll look it up.
notes.
Or just look at the note. Yeah.
yeah. I'll say 1-0 to
Brentford.
United.
Brandon.
I'm gonna go 2-1 United.
I'm gonna go 2-2 as well.
W Mids.
Ooh, a little bit of a draw.
Liverpool at home versus Brighton. I'm gonna say 2-1. 2-1 Pool. Brandon.
I'm gonna say 3-2 Liverpool.
Daniel.
I'll say 4-2 to Liverpool.
Ooh.
Jose.
I'm gonna say 3-1 Liverpool.
Eddie.
2-1 Liverpool.
All right, the heavy hitter of the weekend.
Oh my God.
City at home versus the Arse.
Title decider.
Potentially.
3-2 Manchester City.
Jose.
Oof. I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
Oh, that'd be so lame.
That would be really lame. That would be
All
big
right,
for Liverpool.
I'm gonna
though.
skip Daniel and Brandon just because you two are the teams playing. I'm gonna go me first, and then we'll go to you two. Daniel, you go.
What'd you say, Abdon?
Yeah, the one
I
did
said
you say?
3-2 City. 3-2 City.
Same as me. We've been making a lot of the same predictions, Abdon. If we
I
have
think
a
we're on
good
the
week,
same level. I think we're on the same
if we have
level.
a good week this week,
0 points. 0 points coming in.
Imagine.
I
Daniel.
say it's gonna be 3-1 City.
Is gonna be
3-1
man.
City.
That's bold. Saying that
Brandon.
I
Haaland
almost
can't
said it
score.
would be like 4-3. I think we're in for a banger game.
Brandon.
We haven't beat City away in God knows how long.
Have you ever?
Yeah, we've beaten them away. What, like 10 years ago when they weren't nothing? Easy.
They won the Premier League title 10 years ago.
They weren't.
No, I'm making a joke, Jose. God.
You were nothing. What was your Premier League title? Your jokes.
Have some.
No, not for you. Not for you.
Have some.
Not for you. When you win a title, you can make those jokes.
Have some
Withdrawal. Use your brain.
No, use your brain. Because factually, you were wrong. They were playing in the Champions League. They weren't getting eliminated against Bayern Munich.
2-1
City. Say it. Pussy.
Arsenal.
Oh! Wrong again.
Yeah, wrong again.
Ederson,
West Ham.
out.
Okay, so
Ederson out and Ortega own goal incoming.
Valid.
repeat game for Spurs. West Ham at home versus Spurs. Olympic Stadium. Let's see here. I'm gonna go 2-1 Spurs. Brandon.
2-0 Spurs.
Y'all are
Daniel.
stupid.
Shut up.
I think
We
it's gonna be.
destroyed them
I think it's gonna
when
be
they were at home.
2-2.
Y'all can definitely.
Jose.
I think it's 1-1. It's a 1-1 draw.
Eddie.
Eddie's like, it's gonna be 4-0 West Ham.
Walk us off the park.
No, I also said 2-2. We're not going to win that game. It's going to be.
But you might not lose.
Yeah, we're not going to lose either.
Actually, I have no fucking clue with this Spurs team. I thought they were gonna beat Fulham, but.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.